What's up, guys? Welcome back to Planners and Why. My name is Megan.
And I am Myra. Welcome back to another week.
Yes, guys, it has been a long time since we have podcasted. Like, it's literally almost 2 weeks into March.
hmm
We have not podcasted since February. That feels really, really insane, but we're so happy to be back with you guys.
I mean, technically, we did podcast in March, but we'll get into
Oh, well, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
that.
And speaking of that, guys, we still have no idea if we're going to be able to upload this 2 hour podcast feed.
Mhm.
But we will let y'all know when we do, so stop asking. But we
Please,
love y'all
y'all.
though.
Please. It's almost like we need to put in our bio or something at this point.
I think so too. Exactly.
But
Exactly.
we're trying. We're working on it.
But
We're
yes,
not
y'all
leaving
will
y'all hanging.
be the first to know whenever we are able, if we are able to put that on our podcast feed. But yeah, like Myra, how have you been since the last time we officially podcasted on our feed? Let's just say that.
I have been great. I am tired, somewhat getting over a little bit of a head cold because just due to the traveling and everything. No, it's not COVID. I have checked
Same.
twice.
Me too.
So
Yep. Yep.
don't have to worry
Same.
about that. It's just even with work, I do hop into the office every now and again, but I don't interact with people
Mm-hmm.
as we used to since the pandemic. So a lot of us are probably going through that whole, oh, now we've been around a whole bunch of people. Stuff that wouldn't bother us before is bothering us now. So that's
Right.
kind of what we're going through. But I have been good. How have you been?
I've been good too. Literally same thing here. I definitely had a cold. As soon as I came home from my trip, Mason had a runny nose from daycare, and it just did not take long for me to catch whatever she had going. And like Myra said, it's not COVID because I have been tested.
Yeah, we don't play.
So
Y'all know we don't
yeah,
play.
yeah, just kind of trying to get back into the groove of things. I was extremely happy to not have a full-time job this past week because I literally just spent the most of the week in bed. Like it was
Mhm.
literally painful to get out of bed. Like pro tip for Go Wild, if you're able to take off like the whole week after Go Wild, if you are so privileged to do so, if you have the vacation time to do so, just do it. At least take off the next
Mhm.
day. At least at the very least take off the next
At
day
the
when you
very
get home.
minimum, one day for
Yeah.
sure.
Because the fatigue
Yeah,
is real. Yep.
the fatigue is so real. And also, a very special episode because we have our Patreons in the building,
Yes.
chiming in on everything. So they're in the chat, so y'all hear us like reference them and chat with them. So if you want to also be in on our next live podcast recording, definitely check out our Patreon. A lot of y'all
Yes.
have been hopping on over there. So we appreciate all of our newbies. I see some newbies in the building now too. Or are
Mhm.
y'all new? Low key, some of y'all might be old.
It's
But
okay.
still
It's
shout
fine.
out to the new people. I'm like, hold on. Most of these people been here, but it's
I
fine. It's fine.
know. I know. Yes, shout out to the patrons. Yeah, this is available at our $10 level and up, or if you were grandfathered into the $10 level, then you have these live shows available to you, and they are always so much fun because we get to just like hang out and interact with our patrons while we record the show. And we got to meet a bunch of our patrons at Go Wild. We had like a really cute little lunch with them at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. It was so much fun. They were such a good time, hilarious. The food was delicious. And it was just so good to like be able to put like real faces to the names, not just
Yeah.
pictures. And now we got faces and personalities and all that to so many of our amazing, amazing friends on Patreon. So shout out to you guys. We love y'all so much.
Yes, yes, yes. We absolutely do. That was so much fun. So we
Mhm.
talked about it being somewhat of a tradition for us. So if you are, a part of Patreon, get a chance to go to Wild this year, we got something for y'all next year for
Yep.
sure. For sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it was so good. So, yeah, let's go and get into Go Wild. So, guys, we had kind of decided that we're going to kind of make this into a series. So, on this episode, we're going to be talking about all the good of Go Wild and all the amazing things that happened to us, amazing things that we experienced to Go Wild, and just everything that we loved about it. On next week's episode, we're gonna get a little bit into the nitty gritty of some areas for improvement,
Hmm.
some different things that happened that weren't so great. We're gonna talk about all that stuff next week, and then on the bonus episode for this month is gonna be exclusive to the patrons. That's when we're going to talk about the ugly. We're going to talk about the drama and the not so great stuff. And the reason why we are doing that on our Patreon instead of on a regular episode is just because the last thing we want to do is direct any type of negativity towards any individual person, and we
Hmm.
have no control over who listens to this podcast. And the last thing I would ever want for somebody to get a sound bite of our podcast and use that to attack another planner babe in this community, right or wrong. So that's why we're just gonna do that just exclusively with our patrons. That's when we're gonna really, really dig deep into all the drama and the the not so great stuff that happened as well. But like I said, y'all are gonna get a little bit of it next week, but you'll get the full thing on the Patreon soon. So
Yes, absolutely. Translation for what Meg says. Some of y'all hoes is messy.
oh wow.
Y'all
Yeah.
hopped up in our live to be super messy, and that's not what we about. We keep it real, but it's a difference between real and petty. Shout out to Lore.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. And Nunu said, "Oh, we deserve the tea. The tea."
Yeah, and then at least with the Patreon people, like we understand, and they get us, we get them, kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. Because and like you said, we can't control who listens to the regular podcast, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever we can control and make sure that there is no negativity going to anybody in this community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, although that's never our intent, we're gonna you know,
Yeah.
put the chains on that episode because girl, after
Mm-mm.
that live, I'm still a little obviously a little spicy from that live because that y'all
You
lucky I couldn't see the names because those people would have got blocked.
we'll talk about the live too. We can go ahead and talk about that live
Yeah.
in a little bit. Yeah, so yeah, I think that that is just the best course of action for how to handle it because guys, Go Wild
Mhm.
was just absolutely so much. And shout out to our new listeners because I feel like we probably have a lot of new listeners thanks to Go Wild. A lot of people were not aware of us or our show. So thanks to Go Wild, we have gotten introduced to a new audience. So
Absolutely.
hello, new listeners. Happy to have you. As long as you know that, on this podcast, Black Lives Matter, trans lives matter, love is love, science is real. We believe in the COVID vaccination. No human is alien. All that liberal stuff is what we believe in over here. So
Yes, it
just to
is
let you
definitely
know.
a Dr. Fauci Stan podcast for sure.
Yes.
But yeah, a lot of people came up to us like, either they haven't heard of us or they
Mm-hmm.
heard of us but aren't podcast listeners. So hopefully we are your introduction to podcasts. Like I told people, you can listen to podcasts while you clean,
Mm-hmm.
your commute to work. A lot of people thought they didn't have time, thinking it was like an audiobook kind of thing, but nah, it's just talk show
Yep.
without actually seeing people faces.
Right. Or you can see our faces if you head on
Oh,
over to our YouTube. Everything
that
we
is
say is an
true. Come
ad.
on, segue.
But that's optional. You don't have to
Yeah, you
look
don't
at our
have to.
beautiful
Hmm.
faces, but you do have that option. Everything's optional over here. Also, that's another
Absolutely.
thing that we like to remind people. The Patreon is optional. The YouTube is optional. Literally everything's optional. So don't get in your feelings about optional stuff. We don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Shameless plug. No, no, exactly.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, we appreciate all the new listeners and hope you decide to stick around.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to binge listen because it's
Mm-hmm.
plenty of content for you to consume for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into Go Wild. So like I said, this episode is going to be covering all the good. And obviously we were on stage at Go Wild and we have the amazing opportunity to do a live podcast with Go Wild where we got to interview Tanya, the CEO of EC, and also
Mhm.
Lamika, the founder of Capital Chic Designs. And man, oh man, I have just never felt like that before. It was just indescribable.
Yeah, it was so dope. Lamika killed it. Tanya killed
Mhm.
it. I'm just so honored that they shared that space with us and
Yes.
it went so well. So many people were just intrigued by the show
Mhm.
and honestly really grateful that we had the honest conversation.
Yep.
Um, everybody know, this is the first Go Wild since everything went down with Planner Getting One.
Yeah.
We have an episode. If you are new, you can go back and find that if
Right.
you want to.
Mhm.
But I I think a lot of people appreciated the realness, the rawness of it. They weren't expecting that on the main stage.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think a lot of people seen that, and from my understanding, a lot of people, kind of checked out or walked off. But the folks that were tuned in really got what they needed. So I am super grateful that we were
Mhm.
able to, open up that conversation and, be our real selves
Mhm.
with the Go Wild audience. Cause I feel like that's what we were missing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that was something that we were missing in this community, just rawness, like just acknowledging everything that happened and how we're moving forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? I don't even feel like it was a lot of people who checked out. It was definitely a silent
Girls like five.
minority. Exactly.
Yeah.
It was like a handful because I feel like because we started the conversation with Tanya where we started, which was
Mhm,
addressing the elephant in the room. I feel like people were able to realize as soon as we started talking to her that this is not just about to be just an EC ad where we talk about all the wonderful things that EC is doing as a company and we don't talk about the nitty gritty and really get down to what happened and how the
mhm,
company is moving forward since then. So, and I feel like obviously our listeners, they know we've had Tanya on the show. They
mhm.
knew what type of conversation it was probably going to be, but like I said, a lot of people had no idea about us or the show or that we've ever had a conversation with Tanya. So, but I'm glad that so many people got to see like how real she is, how genuine she is, and the fact that we would not have set stage with her had it not been that exact situation. Like we all came to it
Absolutely, yeah.
from the same perspective of wanting it to be a open and honest conversation. And like I said, not just an ad for please love EC again. That's definitely not what the
Yeah, that wasn't, yeah.
intent, and that's not what any of us wanted. We wanted to give the people the real and to really address everything. So I'm so glad that we were able to do that. And we got to talk to Lamika from Capital Chic for the first time. And y'all, I swear, Lamika is my best friend in my head. Like she is so funny and she is so cool. I could just talk to her for days and I cannot wait until we get her on the podcast in
Mhm.
this setup because we got more talking to do to Lamika because she was
Yeah.
absolutely amazing too.
Yeah, that's exactly what we told her out the stage. Like, you did amazing, but we kept it real, but we got to get into it on the actual show, like
Mhm.
where it's just like the three of us. Because whew, that was another conversation where it was like it was so Planners and Wine because it was just
Mhm.
so real. It was that also wasn't an ad to Shop Capital Sheets Design. That
For
was
sure.
learning who Lamika is and what she has gone through with her business and who she is as a person.
Right.
So I'm glad we had that conversation. But yeah, she gotta definitely come on the show. She is dope
Yes.
and black as
Yes.
fuck.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So being able to be on the stage and go out when that is literally one of the first things that we said to each other when we first started this podcast was wouldn't it be so cool to be the live podcast at Go Wild and the fact that it was able to happen. I mean, y'all, if that's not a lesson in like manifesting your dreams and like having them right there in front of you and going for them, I promise I don't know what it is because realistically, we probably never thought that was going to happen, but we wanted it and we said it out loud and it ended up happening. We were lucky enough for it to happen. So, chase those dreams, girls. That's all I can say. I'm just so proud. I'm just so proud. I'm so happy.
Seriously, just manifesting that. And when we started this, we said that, but it was literally in our wildest dreams. So, and that was
Mhm.
something that truly did scare us. So, like, the saying is true: if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big
Mhm.
enough. So,
Yes.
and it goes to show, like, Planners and Wine back in, like, we didn't come off of no PR team. We ain't on
Mhm.
no squad. We didn't have no big following. Like, Planners and Wine is literally from the ground up.
Mhm.
And we are, so grateful that people like Wow for Planners seen our vision and truly believed in us. Honest people like EC, like Lamika,
Mhm.
like that really see like, oh yeah, I see what y'all doing on that podcast, and we can see it for y'all. Like we can see it being big for y'all. So we definitely appreciate those folks doing that. But
Mhm.
like Meg said, it goes to show like there is not one linear way to be successful in this community.
Yep.
You can definitely do it. You don't need no huge backing in order
No.
to start. Like if you got a
Mm-mm.
vision, you got something different out there that you want to put out to the world, go for it. Go for that dream.
Yep, and stay consistent
Yeah.
because, like, we were having a conversation with one of our patrons. Shout out to Heather. A little bit before we got started, and one of the things that I said to her was, "We're not the best podcasters in the world, but I mean, we are one of the most consistent." Nobody can take our consistency away from us. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if you have consistency, if you're doing it and you're doing it well, like I said, maybe not the best out of everybody, but you're doing it really well and you're consistent, people are gonna start to take notice, and the right people are gonna notice, and you're gonna get opportunities that you never dreamed of. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
consistency is definitely the key for sure.
I mean, I would say we the best, but that's just my opinion.
I mean, I Myra has the ego thing down. I try to be a little bit more humble, but sometimes we need somebody to be like, you know what? No, fuck that. Y'all are the best. You're right.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it is what it is, and it's
Yeah.
not even on no cocky stuff. I truly believe in what we do. I truly
Mhm.
believe in what we bring to the table, and I absolutely agree that consistency is
Mhm.
what makes us the best.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, I agree with that. I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. Yep. But yeah, another thing that was amazing about this year's Go Wild was the amount of black girl magic that was
Hmm.
not only on the stage, but that was just present at Go Wild. Like we had so many black and brown women come up to us and tell us how much they love the show or how they had never heard of the show, but they just connected with what we were talking about. They couldn't wait to listen, how it was
Hmm.
so affirming to see people who look like them be up on that stage, like you said, without a huge following, without a huge
For sure.
like backing or anything like that. And we because we got there literally just by being our authentic selves. Like that was literally basically the theme of our Go Out Live podcast, was just being your authentic self. You know what I'm saying?
For
And
sure.
so to be able to share that stage with so many amazing black women, like Ashley from Cloth and Paper, Aisha, Pasha, Siobhan Dixon, At Home with Keita. Let me know if I'm leaving anybody out. I hope I'm not.
I
Did I
think you
name all?
got
Is
everybody
that all
here.
the girls? If we're leaving anybody out, it's definitely no
Oh,
shade.
the comedian. I can't think of her
Oh yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah. The comedian. She was so funny. Chloe. I think it was like Chloe Hillard. I think is her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just so magical, and it meant a lot to the women in this community because obviously, even though it's never been said that certain things are only for white women or nothing like that in this community, sometimes
Mhm.
it's implied by the lack of representation. You know what I'm
Yeah.
So when you don't see yourself, you're like, oh, well, maybe this convention isn't for me, or maybe I can't ever be on that stage because I don't see anybody else for like that for me. If anybody had that in their mind after this Go Wild, I hope that is the furthest thing for your mind, and I hope you know that Go Wild is truly for all of us. It's truly, truly for all of us. And what we're gonna do is try to make it even better, even more inclusive as much as we possibly can. We don't work for them or anything, but as much as we can, make it as inclusive and diverse and representative of this community as much as possible because it was everything. It was so affirming to not be the only black women on the stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this Wild was very diverse in the stage. A lot of black women, absolutely. But we had Kane up there, we had Emmy Tangerine. Like
Mhm.
it was just very diverse in a
Yes.
representation of what the planner community is.
Mhm.
And like you said, like we need that moving forward with Wild and
Mhm.
really all planner conferences. So people that look like us or who is different than the cishet white women that
Mhm.
majority is in this community, I mean, just is what it is. We need to see ourselves up there.
Yep.
And just from the feedback that we got, like a lot of black women just coming to us like, you know we're just so proud of you. Like people who didn't even listen to our
Mhm.
show or even knew who we were, like they see us and see themselves in us, and it's
Yep.
just like we needed that. Like we
Yep.
all should feel like, there is some representation up on these main stages at these
Absolutely.
conferences because we are a part of this community too.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the community just wouldn't be the same without each and every one of us and the contribution that we make to this community. And it's really important that that is regularly recognized and celebrated and upheld. You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said, like if you can't see it, you can't be it. And so people need to be able to see the representation of this community and know that we matter in this community. Like we're not just here to make you uncomfortable or anything like that. Like we matter and we're gonna be here to stay. And it's just so amazing. So okay, my question is to you, Myra, and to you guys who are viewing us live, our patrons, who was your favorite speaker besides all the Black Girl Magic?
Okay, Laura had a real quick thing. I'll throw it up on the screen
Yeah,
real quick. Laura said, and people need to be looking for these amazing people in our community. Don't just recycle the go wild formula,
absolutely.
which is so, so true.
Yep.
Like, yeah. I mean, yeah,
We are the only Black women in this community who
we are
deserve
not the only one.
opportunities.
Yes, we are not the only
So,
one for
yep,
sure.
yep, absolutely. Okay, so who is you guys' favorite speaker?
I'm with Plan with M, Cindy for sure, but I stay
Mm-hmm.
as Cindy. Every time she DMs me, I'm like,
Girl.
oh, love her.
I know, right? I can't believe we're friends.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for liking me, Cindy. Because if Cindy likes you, that's a huge compliment. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah, because girl, Cindy will let you know.
She
Cindy
will.
will let you know.
She
But
not
yeah,
gonna play about it.
she is so dope. I feel like
Mhm.
that was a very real speech that a lot of us in the room can relate to. Like, yeah, happy go lucky, woo woo woo, all that stuff. But a
Mhm.
lot of us, just need to recognize the mundane and be happy with that. Because I mean,
Mhm.
we all going through stuff. It just
Mhm.
can't be rainbows and unicorns all the freaking time.
Absolutely. And I love that she talked about how one of the things she talked about was how basically people who have chronic illnesses, they basically have to pretend to not be ill because they don't want people doting on them or all in their face, getting in their face, being annoying or treating them like they're sensitive, treating them like they can't handle things, treating them like they can't do anything. Obviously, as somebody who is not dealing with a chronic illness, that's a blind spot of mine. I had no idea about anything like that. And I hope one thing that I hope that most people who were there got out of all the speakers is looking at life from a different perspective than yours. I feel like so many of us forget to do that. And all of us, because we all have privilege. Obviously, the one we talk about the most is a white privilege, but as a healthy person, that is a privilege. As a
Hmm.
straight person, that is a privilege. You know what I'm
For
saying? Like
sure.
there are privileges all over the place. So it's important to recognize your privilege and recognize when other people are going through things that you are not going through. And obviously you can't completely understand them, but you can try to and you can work really hard to do that. Yeah, she called it faking well. Thank you,
Hmm.
Heather. When they're faking well. And like I said, that was something that never really occurred to me, but it's something that we all should just have more awareness about for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I see a lot of
Well,
people.
Cindy.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely do. That was such a great speech
Mhm.
presentation. I don't know what it's called at a conference.
I don't either.
Whatever greatness Cindy did, it was great. But Sheena and Nunu, they both said the coffin paper segment was their favorite. So that was with Aisha, Ashley, and Pasha.
Yes, shout out to them.
We actually had Aisha on the show because she freaking best.
We
She is
did.
Girls Rock on Instagram if
Yep.
y'all aware. But yeah, that was dope. Um,
We hope to get Ashley on the show at some point too. We actually got to talk to her a little bit,
I
and we
know.
definitely threw that out there. And y'all, Ashley from Cloth and Paper, like we had never like talked to her or met her before. At least I hadn't before we were on stage or whatever. And she was like my comfort person when we were on stage because she was right there in the front in the center, and I could see her and like her face and her expressions while we were talking were so affirming and
Mhm.
they just gave me so much confidence and made me feel good. Like I would literally like keep looking at her and I could see her like having her camera up recording us and I just felt so good. I was like, oh my god.
It was the black girl,
It was a black girl
affirmation.
affirmation. Yes, because really the only people I could see from where we were, because the cameras were so bright, and
Mhm.
I'm glad that the lights were so bright because we couldn't see how many people were looking at us, because that probably
Yeah.
would freak me out too. I could only see Ashley, I could see Julie, and I could see Jeanette from Wild for Planners, and those three
Mhm.
people they gave me what I needed to keep going in the moment. Obviously I had Myra there and Tanya and Lamika too, but to be able to look into the crowd and see those people and see their faces and have so much affirmation on their faces, it really, like, okay, I was like, okay, we're doing this right now, because
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
And that's so dope because I don't think we talked to her before then, so we
Mhm.
really didn't have a relationship. But for her to be like, "Yes, like you doing it," like that's so dope of
Mhm.
her, and for her to be, your person in that moment, that's so amazing.
Yeah, did you have a
Proud of
person,
you.
like, is there somebody that you could see in the crowd who kind of, or did you try not to look at the crowd too much?
I couldn't see anything. I did see Jeanette. I
Mhm.
heard Danny, so that was like a
Shout
non-hug
out to
hug right
Danny.
there. Shout out to
Yeah.
Danny. But yeah, y'all, when you're on stage, like y'all can see us perfectly clear. But
Mhm.
we can really only see like those first row of people.
Yeah.
Everything else is just lights. It's just lights.
Mhm.
So you can't really see, which is a good thing, like you said, because it helped calm the nerves. But yeah. Yeah, Jeanette for sure I could see. So that was a very comforting person. And then looking at y'all,
Mhm.
you, Tanya, and Lamika, because y'all got me.
Yeah, for
So that was
sure.
helpful.
For
That was
sure.
helpful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Sheena has a cloth and paper consultation today at 3. Ooh, okay, Sheena, who is
Woo!
it with? That's so exciting.
That is
Because they
exciting.
do
Let us
offer
know who
that
it's
as a
with.
service, and you can get Aisha to do your consultation. It's basically just to help you get set up and figure out where you want to go and how you want to navigate all these amazing, expensive planner products. It's just a good place to start, so you won't just have to jump out the window buying everything.
Yeah, I love that they offer that service because
Mhm.
it can be overwhelming. Like, when we first came into this community, it was overwhelming. We were buying all the things,
Mhm.
didn't know what exactly worked for us. And to have somebody that is like a pro in this community that already walked that life, like just sign up
Yep.
for it, get that consultation, and be on your way. I love that they
Yes.
offer that.
Me too. Me too. Definitely. Let's see. Nunu said Aisha told me I was her first, and oh my gosh, I almost fainted. I know, right? That's so cute. You were her first consultation.
No.
So cute.
Oh, Sheena's with Pasha.
Oh, that's
Oh yeah, she
awesome.
gonna give you the real. She gonna give you
Absolutely.
the real.
Absolutely. For sure. For sure. That's so cool. Another thing that we loved about Go Wild was obviously just being able to connect with our friends, the really great relationships that we have been able to make in this planner community online, to be able to bring those into real life. Like, we got to
Mhm.
hang out so much with our reality and wine co-hosts, Laura and Danny, and hang out with Danny's amazing husband, Jonathan, and hang out with Nunu. Like, it was just chef's kiss. That was the best part. Hanging out with our people, with our friends, like doing hood rat stuff with our friends, because we definitely did some hood rat stuff.
Yeah,
I literally felt like I was in college or something again. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It was
for sure,
amazing.
for sure. Yeah, and it's a bond that's just like um I can't even explain it. It's just something different that you just I don't know. Like we've been talking to these people for years at this point.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's like to be able to see them in person and be able to create those bonds. Julie too. Um I just can't even explain it to y'all. Like
Mhm.
I love those people.
I do too.
I love
I do
them
too. Yes,
through and
Julie.
through.
Oh my gosh, hanging out with Julie, and like Julie gave me like the best like mom hug like ever. I just love her so much. Julie is just such a ball of like light and joy and fun, and oh my gosh, I love Julie so much. I love Julie so much. We had the
I
best
know.
time. It literally felt like summer camp. Like, after, like, we bonded so deeply. We had so many like deep conversations
Mhm.
and so many like just literal like belly laughs, like crying, laughing. You know what I'm saying? It was literally like summer camp, and then when we left, it was so sad. It was sad to go. It was sad to say goodbye, and it's sad to know that we're not gonna see them again for a little while. But it was just like nobody. I feel like we were warned about a lot of things with Go Wild. Nobody warned us about the potential for like deep bonding with your planner friends.
Girl, we was not ready.
We
I
weren't
don't think they
prepared.
were ready.
No,
Nobody was
no,
prepared for any of this. We just thought we
no.
was about to just hang out and be cool, and it's like it's just on a whole nother level. Like,
Yeah, it's like lifelong friendships.
yeah,
Seriously, like couldn't see
yeah,
myself like my life without these people type of stuff.
yeah,
And I feel like, people talk about the friendships in the planner community, but man, when you're able to like really get in person with people and really take your friendship to the next level in that way, it's something special. And it's hard to find that as an adult. It's so hard to find that when you're not like in a school setting or something like that. So, because we don't trust our coworkers
yeah,
like
and
that.
yeah, and then everybody is all over the freaking country, so it's not like we get to see these people on a regular basis. So we're
Mhm.
nurturing these friendships online, and then getting having them bloom literally in like 4 to 5 days.
Insane.
It's just something that you just aren't prepared for, and
No.
I really hope that everybody in this community find that kind of connection with their people
Yes.
within this, because I feel like everybody needs that.
I know, like
Everybody needs that.
crying together, like being there for each other because
Mhm.
obviously, and we'll get into this on the next episode. There was some tough moments too. It wasn't all just rainbows and unicorns and sunshine. There were some really, really tough moments, and to have to go through certain things without having like your family around, it could be extremely tough. But having like people who you truly, truly trust around you, I mean, it really just it gave me what I needed for real, for real. Because like I said, there were some really tough moments, and I was so happy that I had Myra, that I had Danny and Laura and Nunu and Julie and J Bay to like really depend on and be there for me. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
uh, it was so good.
Yeah, I
It's like
feel like I
magic.
now know what it's like to be on Drag Race. Like, I
Mhm.
totally get it now, because they are not that we were like completely isolated. Like, obviously, we had our phones and can call our family,
Mhm.
but with
Mhm.
so much going on, and to have people that are in this community, creating things in this
Mhm.
community, understand like that level of things and be able
Mhm.
to create that bond. Like, I feel like that's how the Drag Race girls feel when they're
No, it
going
is
through, because
absolutely.
it's
Yep.
just them,
Yep.
and
Yep.
but yeah,
Absolutely.
that was the best part of all of this.
It
Like,
was.
I mean, being on stage was a great moment, but that connection with the people there,
Mhm.
like,
Irreplaceable.
yeah, irreplaceable. Yeah, I tried with my friends. I'm squaring up. Period.
Period. Period.
So don't try
Like for real, for real. Laura said the SGS conference is in Orlando. I imagine people will try to recreate that magic or have some of their own. Okay, so somebody had mentioned the SGS conference to us a couple days ago when we were talking, and I had never heard about this conference before. It's just really only thing I had really heard of was like Wild for Planner or Go Wilds, Chicago Planner Conference, and what was that like Winter Wonderland fiasco?
Oh,
That's the only
that
stuff I ever heard.
I mean, I don't think that would need to be in the list, but
That's the only one I heard
yeah,
of
just to mess with that one.
because it was a mess.
Yeah.
That's why. So I'm interested to hear about other planner conferences because I would love to go to more than one. I mean, obviously, Wild is always going to be the priority, and if I can only go to one, then it's definitely going to be Go Wild. But I'm definitely open to going to others, and definitely if they want to have us, speak or do anything, hit us up in the Gmail, girl. Just saying.
Period.
Shameless
Yeah,
plug.
I've heard of the NYC one, and then the ones that you said. I know there had to be a lot more,
Mhm.
but this is my theory. I don't know shit. This is just up in my head, and what I was thinking. Maybe people were looking to go wild, since it is one of the bigger ones, to
Mhm.
kind of see how everything will pan out, how it would
Mhm.
go, because with the pandemic, it's just completely unprecedented times. So
Mhm.
maybe that's why everybody was just kind of like hush hush, because I think the Sugar Gall
Gal
one,
shop.
they just announced where it was going to be, like a day or two ago.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
Gotcha.
that's just my theory. Like I said, I don't know anything, but yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Chicago was lit in the new. She said I heard Chicago was lit. We had
It was.
fun when we
We
went to
did.
Chicago, and
Yep.
hopefully it comes back.
Yeah,
I'm a
for sure.
little sad that we haven't heard anything else about it though.
I know. The main thing I loved about the Chicago Planner Conference was that they had like vendors there so you could like buy stuff from different shops. Definitely, come prepared, have an extra bag or something like that.
Hmm.
But I don't even think we got that out of control with our purchasing or anything like that. But I really love that about the Chicago Planner Conference. And I mean, Chicago is awesome. Ella
Yeah.
had a question. She said, "Have either of y'all been to Go Out before? How was this experience similar or different than the past one?" So this was both of our first Wow ever, and I'm kind of nervous for future ones because obviously we were speaking at this one, and also we got to hang out with some of our best friends in the world for the first time. I don't know how another Go Out is going to be able to top it. The bar is very high. The bar is very very high.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Mhm.
Even if I feel like even if we went to a go out in the past, this one would still beat it
Mhm.
because of that connection that we made with our people. And
Mhm.
yeah, Planners and Wine didn't exist in 2019. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, this one
Mm-mm.
was still gonna overtop it anyway.
Absolutely, absolutely. Heather said, "I had an emotional meltdown Saturday afternoon and was glad I had a planner friend to be with." I'm sorry that you had an emotional meltdown, Heather girl. I did too on Saturday. Saturday was just something was in the
Saturday
water.
was tough. Saturday
But
was fucking tough.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you had somebody to be there with you. And I mean, I feel like that probably brought y'all a lot closer than what y'all were. Because when you go through things, especially emotional things, the people who are really there for you, I mean, you're gonna remember that, and you're gonna remember those moments. Like not even so much the sadness, but just knowing that there were people that was there for you.
Yeah, and it really truly tests your relationship with people too. The people that can be like, let's get through this together kind of thing.
Mhm.
Cause I mean, some people could run, like, what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
so it really tests your friendship too. But I am so glad that, our planner people was there for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Tavia asks, "What's happening in Indiana or Chicago? I live in Indiana, so this could be super fun." If anybody has any more information about a planner conference in Indiana, definitely let Tavia know because we have no idea, and we do know about the Chicago planner conference, but we haven't heard anything about if they're actually going to do something this year. So that's still. I don't think they've
Yeah.
updated the last one in 2020.
Yep, we still have the same pictures for 2020. I have posted in our group because just like Go Out has an attendee Facebook group. So the Chicago Planner Conference, and I have posted. I seen a lot of other people posted like, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
what's the tea? What's going on?" But we haven't heard anything.
Yep,
So
yep. And to any of our patrons, if you're in the Facebook group, if y'all see about any planner conferences coming up in specific areas, feel free to post about it in the Patreon Facebook group and see who else is going. And try to meet up, try to connect because obviously fellow patrons are like-minded people. I know like Sheena and Jessica, they connected through our Patreon, I believe, and they had a lot of fun hanging out with each other. So definitely make those connections because these are your people. We're your people right here. Trust. Laura said Laura said before the Panic at the Disco hit in 2020, aka the Pandy,
oh my
a lot of
god.
people would go to smaller ones because they were more affordable. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely an option. That is definitely an option. It's just not feasible to Go Wild plus a whole bunch of other conferences. But by the time you go to about 5 other planner conferences, you could have just went to Go Wild too. So you keep that in mind.
Yeah, yeah, I know a lot of people opted to do Chicago Planner Conference over
Hmm.
Go Wild. And this was obviously before we knew the world was gonna burn.
For sure.
But that was a much cheaper option for folks. So yeah, I mean we get it, we understand it's a
Hmm.
definitely a privilege to attend Go Wild. Like it's not cheap at all.
No, it's not.
But
It's definitely not.
yeah, it was just an amazing experience for us for sure.
PGP Can Toronto conference. Come see me. I am interested in this, Naomi. Give us more details. When is this thing? I would love to go to Canada, but are they even having us yet?
I feel like either it was Naomi or Brittany that put something in the Facebook group about it. I can't
Mm,
remember. I know we got a couple of Canadians. shout out to the Canadians. Apparently, y'all listen to us on Friday, which is interesting. But shout out to y'all. But yeah, we would love that'd be interesting. I would love to go to Toronto.
I
Is
would
Drake there?
too. I mean, he's from there. I'm sure he probably still has a house there, but I doubt he lives there full time. I feel like he lives probably like in LA or Miami or something full time. That's just that's just the
Mm,
vibes I get from Drake.
I need to know.
Me too. Me too. Heather said, if you're vaccinated, you can. Well, well, maybe.
Well, we did say this is a Dr. Fauci stare podcast, so we in
Period.
there.
We in there. Yep. Yep. Vaccine boosted. For sure. I guess something else that we can kind of talk about. Of course, Nunu coming with the Drake facts. Drake lives in Houston full time. How you know that? And why
Why
you
Houston out of
aren't you
all
going to
cities?
Houston next week? Nunu, are you going to link up with Drake? Let me know. Girl, Houston is lit. Houston is very, very lit. And I mean, Houston people are fine as hell also. So that's
I
probably why
mean,
Drake is in Houston.
that's Meg's and Beyonce city, so I mean, I believe it. I
I know.
believe it.
Exactly, exactly. Meg Thee Stallion, Beyonce, Houston, period. Houston stand up.
Yeah, Meg the Stallion. Sorry, I forgot. It's another Meg on the
Girl,
show.
it's so many Megs, and it's so many Megs in our Patreon. Like Meg is the most common name in the
Mm-hmm.
Patreon by
It
far.
is.
It's kind, and we all spell it the same way too. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Nunu said she gonna pull up on him. Girl, I cannot deal with you, Nunu. Don't be getting thrown out by Drake security. We
Oh
don't
my
have
god.
time to be bailing you out of jail or nothing like that. Cause we'll start a GoFundMe in the Patreon group to get you out, but we gonna be mad. Let's see. Planner's gonna plan September 30th to October 1st. They have a website and a Facebook group. Key speakers were just announced: Teresa Collins and Amanda Rachel Lee. Okay, that's cool. That's the Toronto one, I think. Very cool. That makes sense. They would have Amanda Rachel Lee because she
Oh
is in
yeah, she's from there,
Canada.
right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. So I guess something else that we want to talk about before we wrap up this section of the podcast is let's give some tips on how people can find their crew for next year's Go Wild. Obviously, you can come to Go Wild by yourself. We had this question a whole bunch. You absolutely can. My advice is to try to make some connections with people online and meet up with them at Go Wild, unless you are just an extroverted person and you're once you get there, if you're going to you know, spark up those conversations and try to find friends and stuff there, unless you're extroverted enough to be able to do that, I don't want you to end up alone because I know I'm not extroverted enough to do that. And if I went somewhere truly by myself, truly not knowing or talking to anybody beforehand, I would probably end up alone a lot of the time. And there's nothing more lonely than being in a room full of people and being by yourself and feeling like you're by yourself, you know? So I would say to try to make connections with people online and have people that you're going to meet up with for sure once you're there. So you won't just be there, get there and be alone because that I feel like you're most people who did that at this past one, I don't think they ended up having a really good time, and you know that's unfortunate.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. I absolutely agree with that. You got a year. You got a
Mhm.
year to cultivate these relationships online. Just talk to
Mhm.
people,
Mhm.
And I know that can be a little bit nerve-wracking. I personally would say it's much easier to do it virtually than in person.
Mhm.
So, definitely just talk to people. Of course, don't force, any friendships or anything, but
Right.
just like the friendships we made in this community, we just talked to them.
Yeah.
We just were
Yep.
talking. So go ahead and start talking to folks and start doing that. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's the best thing. If you do end up coming by yourself, make those connections like, hey, are you going?
Mhm.
Let's meet up, let's do dinner or whatever. Roommate with people. Just talk. I mean, it sounds kind of like cliche and kind of simple, but it in a way it is.
Yep. Yep, exactly. Laura said, being authentic and just talking to folks goes a long way. Absolutely it does. And don't try super hard. Like every time somebody posts something, you don't have to jump in their DMs um and try to have a conversation about it. Don't do all that. But every now and then spark up a conversation with somebody who you think is cool and you think you have, things in common with, and join different Facebook groups. Pretty much every shop in this community has some type of Facebook groups. There are Facebook groups that are for people in particular, cities and particular states. There is our Patreon Facebook group. There are lots of groups like that. So join those groups, find those like-minded people who you have some awesome things in common with, and just spark up conversations with them. And then, even you could join the Planners Gone Wild group and find people in there, because those are people who are more than likely gonna end up at the next Go Wild or at the next Planner
For sure.
conference who you can
Yeah.
absolutely link up with. So and I feel like it's a lot easier and less scary to put yourself out there and make those connections online rather than in person. It can be super, super scary to walk up to somebody in person, but it's super easy to just hop in their DMs and have a conversation. So definitely do that, and just try to find people who you connect with, who you can meet up with at next year's Go Wild or whatever conference you want to go with. And you're gonna have the time of your life. That's why like, it would have been great. It would not have been as what it was if we wouldn't have had our people and the people that we connected with there also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They definitely made Wild so much better. I will also
Mm-hmm.
say this too. Yes, also new stop. But I will say this too. Don't make connections with people because y'all are using the same planner. Just
Mm,
because y'all use the same planner don't mean y'all are compatible as friends or will get
mm,
along. So be open to everybody.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it. None of the people who we hung out with use the same exact planner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
None of us use the same planner.
that's true.
So
That's
if that's
true.
going to be, don't let that be your starting point. If you like
Right.
the things that they do, or you think they're cool people, talk from them from there, but not
Mm-hmm.
because y'all all using a life planner or whatever, or a happy planner, whatever it is.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And also, don't try to be cool with people just because you think that they're like notable in the famous in the not famous in the planner community.
Well,
You know
I,
what I'm
I
saying? Like,
forgot about that point. That's a good one.
it's one thing if they're like, if you genuinely see that they are a cool person, that y'all have things in common, and they just so happen to be somebody who you see as more like notable or popular in the planner community, that just, it just is what it is. But just because you see, oh, this person has 10K, they have 15K, they have 50K or whatever, I want to be friends with them now. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna
It's
work.
not, and people can smell that from a mile away.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, so yeah, if you try to like snuggle up with people because you think it's going to boost your following or boost your, I don't know, Instagram career,
Mhm.
whatever. No, yeah, let's just
It's
not do that.
dumb, and you might
Yeah,
not even like them. What you gonna
yeah,
do if you don't like them?
yeah,
Just because
exactly.
somebody trust us,
We
just
know.
because somebody is popular in these planner streets does not mean that they are cool people. I'm gonna
Absolutely,
just leave that
absolutely.
there. So pay attention to who we don't have on the show. Just
Well,
saying.
well,
Laura said, I'm gonna wear a shirt next year that says I adopt introverts. Laura, you gonna be so popular
she
because we all
does.
introvert.
Yeah, just gonna have a whole crew of people with you.
Yes. Nunu said, next year I may have a shirt that says I have a bottle. Oh, girl, you gonna be so popular. Yes.
Yeah, that's true too. It does get wild at wild. Like folks let loose.
It does. It
As you
does.
should,
As
because I mean, especially with this one, we had a tough 2 years.
we
So
did.
we definitely had our fun for sure.
For sure, for sure. Okay, let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors, and then we're gonna come back and we'll talk about some of our favorite events that go wild besides the speakers. Also get into a little bit of planner controversy and some celeb garbage. So sit tight, guys. We'll be right back. All right, guys. So we are back. Okay, so something else that we've already started talking with our patrons about behind the scenes was some of the events that we really had a ball at. So the first event on Thursday night was the welcome party that was sponsored by Chrissy Ann Designs, and that was basically like a karaoke thing. And first of all, let me say, I know we said we are going to talk about all the negative stuff on the next episode, but I have to say this now: when y'all are choosing karaoke songs,
Oh my god.
this is not your time to get a record deal. Like, some people were choosing the worst, slowest, most boring, not karaoke appropriate songs, and like trying to like really show their vocals. And I was pressed. I was absolutely pressed.
The girls that go wild was going through it with these song
Gir
choices.
like, if you're going through a breakup, just say that.
Just say
If
that.
you're going through a breakup, just say that because I was
Oh
at
my
a loss.
god.
I was at like there was like and it was song after song after song, like a slow song for like a good like 30 minutes to an hour at first. And every time a song came, I mean, we still had a blast because we were dying laughing.
Yeah.
But it was just like we literally at one point we were like, are we at a funeral? It was giving funeral vibes.
J Bay, he was such a good man. At that moment, I knew J
hmm
Bay was our people. At
See,
that moment,
yes, yes, exactly. And M said, they're showing off vocals that they don't have. Girl,
Girl,
that's the gag. That's the gag. It's
it's
not even
supposed to
like
be fun.
it's
Like, you know
supposed
what
to
I
be
mean? We
fun.
all can't sing, girl.
No, you're not supposed to be trying to impress people. Like, and trust me, nobody got up there and was like Adele, Beyonce,
Yeah.
Whitney Houston blowing it out the water anyway. So
No
maybe if you
way.
would have did that, maybe I would have been like impressed. But it's like you're making us sit through this 5 minute song, this 5 minute ballad. Like there are only a few select karaoke songs that are slow that still work for karaoke. You know what I'm saying? Most of them don't.
A
So
handful.
the default
Yeah.
is a fast song. The default needs to be a fast song.
And it could even be a sad song. Like, I mean, technically, the song J Bay did is a sad song,
I will
technically.
survive, but it was
Yeah.
the girls was
It's
living.
upbeat. Yeah.
The girls was living. Oh my gosh! So I just had to get that out because I've been holding that
Yeah.
in for over a week, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, why did y'all
If you
choose?
need to know, yeah. If you need to know a good song to pick, go to J Bay Plans It. His whole
He gonna
karaoke
get you
set is
right.
up there. He will
He
get you
gonna get you
right.
right. Yep, yep.
Get you
And
right.
you know, Myra and I ended up accidentally doing karaoke.
We
Let's
still
tell
don't
that
know who
story.
Andrea is.
Okay, so No Scrubs came on, the music started playing. They were calling Andrea to the mic. Andrea, Andrea. Andrea was Ghost.
She's
Myra
gone. She went to sleep.
snatched the microphone like she was snatching a Grammy or something. And she started singing No Scrubs. And she killed the first verse. We was all hyped, going crazy. And then she got to the end of the first verse, and Myra was like, "Okay, I'm done."
Yeah,
And she
second
was
verse, somebody else.
and she started handing it off, and nobody was biting. So I was like, "Well, damn it, Myra just did this. I can't let my girl. I can't just leave my girl hanging." So I snatched the mic like I was snatching the Oscar, and we all proceeded to kill it for the rest of the song. And that is the story of how I halfway lost my voice the night before we were going on stage.
I don't know. Our crew did it. We got the people going. We
We
get
got
the
the people
people
going
going.
by accident.
Yeah, completely by accident. We did not
Mhm.
put our name on the list at all. Shout out to Andrea.
Mhm. Yep.
I feel like
Yep.
we should make a shirt now.
I think we should. I think we
Andrea
should.
vibes, whatever. I don't know.
And I feel like that is like the mentality that you definitely need to have coming to any of these planner conferences is that I'm going to have fun with my friends no matter what.
Yes. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I
Pe-
think people have the wrong idea of, especially with Go Wild, they're coming for the swag,
Mhm.
they're coming for the red carpet, and it's like, no, Wild is about connecting with your friends and having a good ass time.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's it.
Exactly. Jen said, "Me married happily 20 years, crying, singing. You could have had a bad bitch."
Yes. Exactly, Jen. Exactly. I don't know where that energy went. It's because you wasn't there.
Exactly.
That's why you needed to
Exactly.
be there to teach them. And I
Absolutely.
seen Laura. Somebody did do "Living on a Prayer."
And it was amazing because
It
that is a
was
appropriate slow song. Like if it's a song that is just so epic and so timeless, you can do a slow song. And "Living on a Prayer" is absolutely
also not
one
a
of those
very,
songs.
happy-go-lucky song, but it is a
No,
good karaoke song.
a great karaoke song, absolutely amazing. So it was so much fun. That was literally the first time I had done karaoke in public in my life, and yeah, it was epic. We'll definitely be doing it next year, but yeah,
Yeah.
maybe next year we need to get there a little early so we can sign up earlier and go sooner so that we can get the people hyped and set the tone for not picking all these random
I know.
slow
It took
songs.
forever for J Bay to go on. That was
It
like an
did.
hour, hour and a half in.
Mhm. Exactly, exactly. And so the next event that we really, really love was the Plan Jamma. Guys, the Plan Jamma, it was sponsored by Happy Planner, so shout out to Happy Planner. And it did have a open bar. And it was a truly
Shout out to
open
Happy
bar,
Planner for
not
that
just
open bar.
wine and beer, but liquor.
Yeah.
And we took full advantage of that. And we were in the bar
Yes.
line several times. And I'm not ashamed of it.
Hey, whoever was at, I wish I would have got that man's name because it was several bars, but we went to
hmm
one specific. He made
hmm
the best tequila sunrise.
Shout out
It
to
was
the Tequila
strong.
Sunrises. See, I knew Tequila Sunrise, that was my go to drink in college when I wanted to get there quickly because everybody knows how to make it. It's very simple, it's delicious, and it
Hmm.
will get you there in a
It
heartbeat.
will.
So, shout
It
out to the
it
Tequila
definitely will.
Sunrise. Yeah, yeah. So, the Playing Jammer was a ton of fun. If you're not familiar, that's basically where all of us put on our cute PJs and we got into a room together and we just partied. Like we literally were on the dance floor probably like 80% of the night. When we weren't on the dance floor, we were in line to get drinks.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
That's how it was.
Yeah. Or somebody asked for a pick.
Yeah.
Like 10 and 10.
Mhm.
10% at the bar,
Yep.
10% taking pictures,
Yep. Yep.
80% on the dance floor.
80% on the dance floor. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Nunu said Meg was a mess and we followed. Period. I am a fun drunk.
Look,
I am a
we
fun
came
drunk.
together, so we had to lead together.
Yes.
That's how it goes.
Yep. Yes. Jen said, if y'all think I'm your hype woman now, you should see Plant Drama drunk Jen twerking all over. Jen, I'm so ready to be a Plant Drama with you, girl. I can't even.
2023, let's go.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
If anybody is debating going next year, you got to be there because trust, we're gonna be there. It's gonna be even more of us there.
Hmm.
Next year is really the year to go. It's gonna be absolutely lit. We still don't even know where it is, but we're gonna make it lit no matter where
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, you definitely. It's just one of those things like you see the excitement online, you get even if you got a virtual ticket or whatever, it's like you have to freaking be there. And Jen told us, Jen
Mhm.
definitely told us like it's such an experience like you can't describe it to anybody else.
Mhm.
You have to experience it yourself even
At
if you
least
just go
once.
once.
At
Yeah.
least one time. Yep. Jen said, "Stop debating and start saving. Let's go." Period.
Period.
Yep.
Jen,
Yep.
is that your merch?
I
Put that on a
know.
shirt.
It sounds like a t-shirt, y'all. Yes. And Sheena with the llama down. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my god.
This is an inside Patreon Facebook group joke, but just know. So funny.
Oh, so
So
good.
funny. But yeah, guys,
Yeah.
we absolutely had the time of our lives at Go Out, and we are so
Another great
excited.
karaoke song.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
saying.
That's true. That's true.
Just
Yep.
saying.
Yep. We're so excited to be there next year and to hopefully meet more of you guys next year because it was an absolute blast. And like I said, on the next episode, we'll get into the nitty gritty of Go Wild. All the things we
Yeah.
didn't talk about. But we just wanted this episode to be celebratory and light and fun, and just to focus on all the positive and wonderful things that took place at Go Wild. Um, so yeah, we still got some other stuff to talk about though. So I'm not
Yeah.
signing off. I feel like that sounded like a sign off and it wasn't. So
No, no. Yeah. It's a transition. But yeah, definitely
yep.
support all the people that were up on stage. Like Jen
Mhm.
said, stop debate and start saving
Mhm.
because you're gonna have to be there and it's going to sell out. So you
Absolutely.
gotta stay ready. So
Yep.
go ahead, put your coins aside, stay ready. So you don't have to get ready.
Yep, yep, exactly, exactly. And if you are a small business or a large business or a content creator and you would like us to advertise your product, your service, your business on at Planners and Wine, hit us up at plannersandwine@gmail.com. We would absolutely love to work with you. We had a lot of people reaching out after Go Wild and it's been so amazing. So we hope to foster a lot of these relationships and people that we met into some business relationships because the bills got to get paid. This podcast ain't for free.
This podcast ain't free. I
Hmm
mean, it is for y'all listening right now, but but it does take somebody to get it done.
we did. And Jen, we already talked about us being on stage. You got to go back and you're gonna have to listen to from the beginning, girl.
I know, yeah. Amazing.
It
It
was.
truly amazing. But yeah. And also another shameless plug, Reality and Wine just
Mhm.
dropped a recent episode
Mhm.
with The Bachelor. There is some more drag race coming. I just
Yes.
Danny's a very, very busy man, so
Mhm.
we'll
Same
we'll
thing with
get that
Laura.
together.
Same thing with
Yeah.
Laura. Yeah, and we
They
got because
are
we they are.
busy.
They always running. It's the
Yeah.
20s. It's something about being in your 20s that just give you a unlimited energy that we don't have no more. And
Yeah.
childless. When you're in your 20s and you're childless, you could
Living your
just go
best
go
life.
go.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
we're living
yeah.
through the both of them for sure. But
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely check that out. We'll have a link to that feed in our show notes. So if you
Yes,
like reality
absolutely.
TV, we're going to do more shows too. So don't think if you don't watch those two shows, it's
Mhm.
not going to be for you. We'll definitely do different shows for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Soon, very, very soon.
Yeah.
We also have our question segment. Normally, today would be the episode where we would read some of our questions, but we just had so much stuff to get into with Go Wild that we just had to focus on that. But if you have a question for us and you would like to ask us, definitely hit us up at askpandw@gmail.com and we will possibly read your question on the next show. And it can literally be about anything. Does not have to just be planet related. Anything that you want our opinions about. So, and we'll keep it anonymous if you want us to also.
Yes, absolutely. You can find that email in the show notes as well. But yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, we can start that up. What's after March? April.
Yep.
Girl.
Yep. In April.
But yeah, definitely,
Somebody get
definitely hit us
Myra a
up.
calendar. Somebody get her.
Girl, you would think I would have one. I'm staring at two right now.
Yes. Oh, Jen, I love me some Big Brother. Jen said, let's do a Big Brother summer show. Big Brother has 3 episodes a week, girlfriend. I don't think we got the bandwidth
Ooh,
for that because I thought about it
mm,
and I thought about Big Brother has 3 episodes per week plus live feeds. To cover Big Brother on a podcast is literally a full-time job because the people who do it on that's their full-time job. I love me some Big Brother, but I don't think we can do it. We may just talk about tidbits here and there on a reality and wine, like have a little segment where we just kind of fill in some blanks, but we
yeah,
can't do no full-time Big Brother
yeah.
coverage. I know I love it, but it's too much.
It's the 3 days a week for me.
It's a commitment to watch all that. That's the thing.
Yeah,
And I have a hard enough time making sure I watch The Bachelor once a week. I'm struggling now. The Bachelor is on twice a week, but making sure you're tuning in 3 times a week for Big Brother is a lot. It's a lot, a lot. But I love me some Big Brother, so who knows? But as far as stuff going on in the planner community, oh my gosh, y'all, this situation, I don't even know if a lot of y'all have heard about this situation.
oh wait, Emily said, hey Emily.
Hey girl, hey. Uh, yeah, she's in Nebraska. Okay. So how do we even introduce this topic? Do you want to start? Do you want to pop it off?
Are we talking about the Nazi situation? Do we just
Yes.
start out with
We're talking about
okay?
the Nazi situation. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, are we naming names?
I mean, we could name the company, yeah.
Okay, so Villa Beautiful, which I mean, I don't know. I
Okay, let's do should we do like a positive, like a sandwich, like positive, negative, positive?
okay, sure. So Villa Beautiful is currently having a women empowerment kind of pins. You know how they do. They got collections pretty much every
Mm-hmm.
month, twice a month or so. So
And
now with
they had one of the best tables at Go Wild. I'll just throw that out there because their table
I
was
would agree with
absolutely
that. That
amazing.
was absolutely
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous.
Yep.
Very,
We
very,
didn't
very
even talk about
cute.
the tables, but yeah, their table was amazing.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, a part of their women's empowerment collection, they put out a survey or something like that for Villa Beautiful like stands to submit who they wanted, like what powerful
Oh yeah, I
women
forgot
they
about that.
wanted
Yeah.
pins to be made from or inspired. Like yeah, and they basically were able to like help design the pin and all that too.
Yeah.
So I think they
Somewhat of
did
a
like
contest. People put in their submissions like, "Oh,
yeah.
I love this woman. Here's why. Here's
Mhm.
the colors," kind of thing.
Yeah.
And 3 or 4 women were submitted
Mhm.
to be a part of this collection or whatever.
Mhm. Mhm.
One was who
Catherine
was the other 2?
Johnson.
Katherine
Um
Johnson, yeah.
the other one was Jane Goodall.
Mhm.
Both very amazing women. And the last one was Coco Chanel. And if you don't live under a rock, you know that Coco
Or don't know
Chanel
how to
was,
use Google.
or that Coco Chanel was a Nazi sympathizer and spy
Mm-hmm.
for the Nazis at one point in her life. And you definitely can find this information from a simple Google search. Allegedly, because I think this did get brought to the Villa Beautiful owners attention, once she released the pins or whatever, or once she released the announcement for the pins.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically just said, I had no idea, that was my mistake, not doing more research. I'll definitely make sure I do my research. Okay, make sure I
Sorry,
do
y'all.
more research in the future. And that was it. But she's still releasing the pen under the name of Coco Chanel,
Well, just Chanel.
or just
I
Chanel.
think that's
Right,
supposed to be the
right,
separation.
right.
I feel like, and it seems like more of the quote unquote backlash, or I don't even want to call it backlash, but more like awareness
Mhm,
or information given to the owner was on that private Facebook group, because I don't
mhm,
really even see anything on like Instagram or in like a public format really.
mhm,
So
mhm,
I think her course of action of just being like, "Oh, I'll do better next time," was
mhm,
kind of lackluster, and
mhm.
it seems like a lot of the other people were like, "No, this is not okay," especially when it's a situation where you can just simply change the freaking name of the pen.
She
It's
could
not
change.
like it say Coco Chanel on the damn pen. You
It's
know what I
literally
mean?
just a black and white pen, so it
Hmm.
could hell. It could be inspired by Cruella Deville if she wanted to. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
Because if we're
yeah,
talking about, because one, to even put Coco Chanel in the same category as women like Katherine Johnson and Jane Goodall is absolutely an insult.
absurd.
And
Yeah,
once she found out, because if allegedly she truly didn't know, once she found out, she could A, pull the pen, not even release it, B, change the name of the pen, have it inspired by somebody else, or C, just take the pen out of that collection, have it nameless like all her other pens, and just release it separately on her own if she don't want to bite the cost. Like, there are several
I didn't even think
options
about that. Yeah.
besides just throwing the pen away if she don't want. But it's the fact that it's a double down of, no, I'm still gonna release this pen under this person's name, knowing that this person has ties to Nazism, well documented ties to Nazism, is just, it's egregious. It's pretty egregious to me, for sure.
Um, I feel like I told y'all this before. I think just, and this is again my opinion, just judging off of, what the brand is, very fashion forward, very like
Mhm.
makeup, very cutesy girly.
Mhm.
I think she really just wanted to make a Chanel pen, cuz
Mhm.
Chanel as a brand is very high fashion, you know what I mean? And
Iconic.
that's icon, yeah,
Mhm.
and that's what we get from VB. But you can do like a quote unquote Chanel inspired, like as the brand
Mhm.
kind of pen,
Mhm.
and not say that that is a woman, that
A
we
part
should
of a
be
women's
empowering.
empowerment
Yeah,
collection, which is
yeah,
the whole point. Exactly. And
yeah.
Lisa asked a great question, being sarcastic. She said, "Isn't it all white pen? It should have been.
Well, I mean, technically, the paint was
It's black and white, but she's trying to say it should have been an all white pen because
with a hood and
Chanel is
everything,
a."
apparently.
Yes, basically,
I mean,
basically.
it's just, I get not knowing. The thing is, there's always situations we don't know everything. I get that,
Mhm.
which I do feel like there should be a little bit more research whenever you do something, and especially whenever you do something and you're allowing like your audience to pick into it. If you're going
Mhm.
to make a product off of that, there should be a little bit of research there. But
Mhm.
I get it, you didn't do the research, okay, cool, that was your bad. It's the actions
Mhm.
that you take after that.
Yep. 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 Exactly. And the actions are not great.
Yeah,
They are
it's
not
just a
great.
double down, like, oh, I'll do better next time.
But I'm
Like,
still releasing this pen under this person's name because that's what I want to
I truly
do.
think that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a fashion icon. I mean, although she wasn't shit, I mean, we can all agree that she had a huge role in fashion.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I think that's why that pen probably in particular was picked.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's disappointing to say the least, especially since there were just so many amazing women submitted for this. like
Absolutely.
so
So
many.
many other options. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, like the fact that a simple Google search to find out, make sure, I mean, I feel like in this day and age in 2022, there's really not an excuse to not know certain things because Google is free and it's always
Mhm.
available. And before you put your brand behind any particular person, you need to be doing some research to see what that person stands for, see if there is a possibility of this person alienating some of your audience and your customer base, or see if this person is just somebody that you don't want associated with your brand. And I definitely feel like thinking about the things that Coco Chanel has done in the past, those definitely fit the standard of somebody's brand not wanting to be associated with them.
I
You know
mean, I
what I'm
would
saying?
hope.
I would hope so too.
I would freaking hope.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just not worth it. It's not. And with some people like, oh, basically, oh, it was a long time ago. People are referencing Chanel and Drag Race, which I'm like,
Mhm.
girl, a reach. Why we bringing Drag Race into this? But
Mhm.
I think people are just like, let's not think about it.
Yeah.
And the more and more we do things and say things like, let's not talk about race. Let's
Mhm.
not talk about the disparities that happens within this planner community.
Mhm.
Let's not talk about EC. The more and more we keep saying let's not talk about it,
Mhm.
the more likely it's going to repeat itself.
Absolutely.
If we
Absolutely.
forget history and we stop talking about it because it's not that big of a deal, blah blah blah,
Mhm.
history repeats itself.
Yep. Yep.
And she should be shamed for that. That
Yep.
is not a good thing.
Nope. Lisa
Yes,
said, "Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go
Sorry."
ahead.
I
Go
was just
ahead.
saying, Lisa said, like the amazing Maya Angelou said, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Yeah. And do better now. You don't have to wait till next time to do better. Because like I said, we literally just gave 3 solutions to this, two of which don't even include her missing any money and throwing out the pen. So there's really no
Yeah,
excuse.
it's no excuse.
I don't
It's no
understand.
excuse. It's no excuse. It
Yeah.
really isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
It's frustrating, and it's like I was kind of disheartened to see how much I didn't see about this because I only saw one person talk about it on their stories, and I only saw one comment on her Instagram page or whatever, and
mm,
so like Myra said, most of the conversation about this was taking place inside of her private Facebook group that you have to
right.
physically join
Yeah.
to be in. And I kind of got to the point because me and Myra were kind of talking about it. And Myra was like, well, should I say something? Should we say something? And at at some point it's just like we can't be the ones to lead the fight about everything. And I'm not talking about just me and Myra in particular. I'm talking about black women in particular. It
It's
seems like
exhausting.
if
Yeah.
it's something in the planner community going on, if black women aren't making a big deal about it, then nobody's making a big deal about it. And that's
Exactly.
frustrating because
That's
we
annoying.
can't do it all the time. We like as far for our mental health and our sanity, we cannot be shouting from the rooftops about every single issue that goes on in this planner community. Because when are we gonna get to just enjoy the community? When are we gonna just get to have fun? We won't. We
Never.
literally jump on everything.
Laura just said, well, she just said, well,
Mhm.
and that's another black woman in this community who always speak out and speak up. And it is not Laura's job. It is
Mhm.
not the black women's job in this community to say something.
Right.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the people in the Facebook. I appreciated them. They look to be white presented. I appreciate them to
Mhm.
saying something,
Because they were giving
but
some real pushback
they
about
were
it.
definitely giving some
Mhm.
real pushback. But I feel like it didn't go anywhere because it is in that private Facebook group. Not that it's private, anybody can freaking join, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But that's a small subsection. Like people on Instagram is never gonna know.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and it's just really exhausting for us to be the one saying something. Mind you, like you said, the one person that you see saying something on Instagram was a white woman,
Mhm.
which we're very appreciative. But
Right.
it's a conversation that Meg and I and other black women in this community have to have. Like, do we have the bandwidth to say something about this?
Right. Right. Exactly.
And if you
Exactly.
never had to think about that before, that is a privilege that you have and can walk around in this community
Mhm.
to just love pens and paper.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
have that conversation all the time.
Absolutely. And Heather, it's totally okay if you hadn't heard about it till today. I'm not faulting anybody who didn't know
Yeah, for
about it.
sure, for
It's
sure.
really to me, it's the people who know about things and don't say anything about it publicly until they see other people saying something about it publicly.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
bothers me
yeah.
about it, you know.
And they'll come in our DMs and tell us, like, where was you
So you,
yesterday? You know what I mean? Like, what you mean? Like,
because
oh yeah, I seen that. That's not a good thing.
sometimes people come to us or they give us information wanting us to lead the charge. And it's
Yeah,
like, look, there are no set leaders in this planner community. Everybody can be a leader in this planner community. Everybody should be a leader in this planner community. And if you're the first person to say something about something, so what?
yeah,
Even if you're the only person to say something about something, if it's something you believe in and it's something that you know is the right thing to do, you don't need a bunch of people backing you up. The strength of you saying it is enough. Even if it doesn't change nothing, you know in your heart you said and did the right thing. It doesn't matter who has your back or not.
absolutely.
By new news, she's going to her apartment. Girl, get it right. Yes.
Yes. But yeah,
Love you, girl.
that was just a little. I just
Mm-hmm.
wish it was the end result was handled differently. I can totally understand. Although, like we said, it just caused a simple Google search. That
Mm-hmm.
is a mistake on her part, and it seemed like she owned it.
Mm-hmm.
But to be like, oh, I'll do better next time, but please buy these pens. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. That just was not a
Mm-mm.
good look. Not a good
No.
look at all. Yeah.
No, because there's not even been like a public addressing of it. Like I said, when she did
Mm-mm.
address it, it was in the private Facebook group.
Yeah.
So there hasn't even been any type of, hey, I've recently been informed of, the controversy surrounding Coco Chanel, and I apologize about this pen. I'm not gonna release it under her likeness. I'm just gonna release it separately if y'all just like the pen, but it's not representative of her, and she is not representative of my brand. That would be a real quick, easy thing to say.
Period.
But
And
nothing.
we'll release this. And then it's like it's a very neutral pen. It's black and white. It could go with any other collection.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's not like
Yeah.
it's a certain color and it won't fit
No.
with the next one.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah, and playing with M said, "Do better this time, not next time." Because we're still in this time, girl. You still got time to do better this time.
Yeah, it can easily be fixed without a loss of any revenue.
This ain't months ago. We're not talking about something that happened months ago. It's
Yeah.
literally. I don't even think the pen has officially been released yet.
Yeah, it has. It was
Oh, is
Thursday.
it for sale now? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's like if there was still, by the time this really came to the forefront, by the time this hit her Facebook group, there were things that could have and should have been done.
Yeah.
So,
You know what?
mm,
Why can't people be like Arch and Olive? I mean,
take
we
responsibility
we're a
and
little
yeah,
biased, but you know what I mean.
we love us marching Marginala for sure. But
Yeah.
absolutely. But it just lets you know that it's really not that hard to do the right thing when you
It's
want
not.
to.
It's really not.
It's really, really not. Oh, but yeah, guys, we had to get into just a little bit of planner
It's
tea.
still up with the whole this VBPN is sponsored by Coco Chanel.
Ooh, ooh, gross.
Shout out to Emily for not our Emily for sure. But
Hmm.
that's who created the pen. But
I'm sure Emily had no idea either, but
mm-mm.
in 2022, why don't you know? So yeah. Let's move on to just a little bit of celeb garbage to wrap up this episode. So Kim Kardashian has some thoughts for you lazy ass working bitches.
Okay. Nobody wants to work anymore.
Oh my gosh, girl. She
What?
said, and I quote, I have the best advice for women in business. Get your effing ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days. If you put in the work, you will receive results. It's that simple. Okay, let's break this down. Let's break this down. Hold on, I need to cough for a minute. Okay, I muted. Here's the thing. I think my interpretation of Kim's message is that there is a mentality of people wanting quick results. You know what I'm saying? To be able to do something and be able to become like an overnight success and have instant money and instant fame and instant all this. And that's
Which is
not
true.
exactly, and that's not realistic. It's not realistic for any of us at all to be able to accomplish that because you have to have hard work and consistency. We talk about that all the time on the show, that hard work and consistency is really what will set you apart. It's really what has set us apart. You know what I'm saying? However, that is not what she said. I should not have had to interpret her message in order to get that. So one, if people are having to interpret your message, that means that you need to fix the message because it's all wrong. And two, this is a situation where you want to shoot the messenger because Kim. Now, I'm not saying that the Kardashians are not hardworking people, but as a millionaire, billionaire, whatever she is now, I can't. I'm so annoyed with all these super rich people telling us regular people that we don't know how to work, and that if we just stop being so lazy and get off our asses, that we can have what we have. When that's not true. My dad worked two jobs for over 30 years. He's not a millionaire, and it's not because he's not a hard worker. It's because he didn't have the opportunities and privilege and luck that the Kardashians have had. That's why.
Yeah. Naomi, I had the same reaction. I said, Kim, no. Cause it's like I like you said, I get what she was trying to say, but that is not what she said.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Like
No.
the Kardashians had a, I don't know, couple $1 million head start
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on everybody else. And like you
Yep.
said, I'm sure they do work hard. You know, I believe that they do work hard, but just hard working is not going to elevate you into some billionaire, especially when you
Mm-hmm.
have disparities like being black,
Yep. Yep.
like being a woman,
Yeah.
like this stuff that's going to set you back when
Mm-hmm.
you don't have the money of the head starts. Like I can't go to my dad and be like, can I have a $250,000 loan so we can put into this podcast and flip it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody giving me that kind of money.
Exactly. 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 Like.
Like a lot of people are ground up and never going to reach even a
Mm-hmm.
fraction of the money that they have,
And it's
no
not
matter
because they
how
don't
hard they
work
work.
hard.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Most of the people I know work super, super hard. You know what I'm saying? So it was just so like it's like the super rich just continue to show how truly how to touch they are and how bad they truly need to pay more taxes because y'all getting on my nerves. Like tax the rich, tax the rich. And then the fact that Courtney was chiming in talking about, yeah, that's so true. When her and Kim have literally been fist fighting and arguing for years about her not wanting to work.
Girl,
What? It was just it's the delusion, the delusion and the complete absence from any sort of reality or how this message is going to be received is so wild, especially if you're somebody on such a public platform who has been a public person for so long. Like we've had this podcast for less than 2 years. And I feel like we even have way more awareness for how we need to say things and how we need to put things than the freaking Kardashians who have been on TV for like 15 years. I don't understand it. I truly, truly don't understand. So yeah. It I'm not over it. I'm not over it at all.
I will say, the Kardashian clan definitely stick together. I feel like that
Girl,
moment of Courtney being like, "That's so true," is just her sticking up for her
they gonna
sister.
stick beside them. They
Yeah,
gonna stick beside
yeah,
each
they
other. Even
are.
though Kim was low key talking to Courtney when she was saying that because she been calling her lazy for years.
Yeah.
I can't, y'all. I cannot. I literally cannot. It was just so much. And the last thing of celebrity garbage that I want to mention is Prince William proving to us that he is the one who made the comments about Harry and Meghan's child's complexion because he's continuing to say racist, ridiculous things. I don't. Okay, so I'm
This
looking
shouldn't
out.
even be celeb garbage. It should just be called clueless.
Girl, clueless. The blind leading the blind. The blind leading the blind.
uh
He basically. So I'm trying to look through this article to see what the exact quote was, but he basically was like, this type of situation. He was referring to the situation with Ukraine and Russia. This type of situation is alien, were the words that he used, to Europe, and we see more of this conflict in like African countries, and it's like, do you not know the entire history of Europe, and particularly where you from is just rife with war and conflict. So there was
Sir, America fought y'all. What are you saying?
they've been fighting everybody forever. Literally,
This
they've been
is
fighting
literally
everybody
y'all
forever.
MO.
It really is taking over
This
countries.
this is why y'all are called colonizers.
Exactly.
What are you saying? It's
Yep.
clueless.
Mm-hmm.
Clueless.
Mm-hmm. Clueless. Yeah, you're right. That should absolutely be called the Alicia Silverstone Clueless segment because it don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense at all, guys.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
gosh. Yeah, so we can always depend on celeb garbage. When there's nothing else to talk about, we could probably do a whole episode on celeb garbage because the
It's
rich girls be doing the most.
delusion. I it's
Mm-hmm.
wild. Don't
Mm-hmm.
they have control of the media? Like, why didn't somebody be like, nah, not this one?
Girl. And they tried to say that it was misconstrued and taken out of context. It definitely was not. I mean, that's what he said. That's literally what he said. So, whoo,
Ugh.
yeah. Future king right there.
Is he next in line?
No, his dad is next in line. He's next in line after his dad. His dad's
Oh yeah, mommy's
still waiting.
still here. Yeah,
His dad's still waiting.
his dad's mom, so his
Yep.
grandma's still here. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, there's that. Oh y'all, celeb garbage.
The fact that we
Love
still
that.
have queens and kings and princesses.
I know. I would love to get if we have any UK listeners, write us into askpandw@gmail.com. Let us know how you feel about like the royal family because obviously coming from our American purview, it seems silly to us to still have it.
Yeah.
But if it's
Yeah.
not, if there is like some deeper meaning, if it's meaningful to you guys, I would love to know that because it doesn't make any sense to me at all, especially when they out here saying dumb shit like that.
Yeah, I was saying just the privilege of that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you should even know your own history to realize that y'all was a part of war and everything too.
I
But
mean,
I
especially
digress.
when their history, because it was like a TikTok, and it was basically tracing Queen Elizabeth's genealogy, like way back into the day. They can literally name their great 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 great
Girl, the privilege in that
grandfather.
alone.
Okay, so it's like, how can you do that, but you don't know that, like you said, your people's whole MO is colonizing and taking over countries, which is literally what's attempting to happen with Russia and Ukraine. I'm so
Uh,
confused.
yeah, that's wild to me.
It's
Like
so
y'all
wild.
literally are part of the reason that we can't trace back to maybe a great great.
Ooh.
But I
Well,
digress.
that is so true.
Delusion
The
and
delusion
clueless.
is so clueless. Guys, y'all are going off in these comments about the royal family. I'm not even gonna say these out loud on the podcast because I don't want the firm's people coming after us getting this
Yeah.
podcast removed.
Yeah. It means, I mean, most of us are American here, or
Mm-hmm.
at least, from North America. So it just
Yep.
doesn't mean the same
Mm-hmm.
to us as I'm sure as it does, for people out there. But yeah. I mean, we all can agree that that was delusional to say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
We gonna keep y'all
Yeah.
opinions in the comments. But
This is
I
why we
am
love the
living.
Patriots. Like,
Yes.
seriously, they the best.
Absolutely. But guys, this has been such a fun live show. We love you guys so much. Hey patrons, if y'all want to stick around for a little bit just to hang, we can
We'll
we
chat.
can
Yeah.
address some of these comments.
And yeah, for those of y'all listening, like we said, we'll talk more in depth about Wild in next week's
Mm-hmm.
episode, and then our bonus episode this month, we'll get down into the nitty gritty of everything. So if y'all
All the
wanna
tea.
come on over,
All the
you're more
tea.
than welcome.
Unfiltered,
Yeah,
X-rated, at least R-rated.
it,
There's really no X.
I'm about to say not
R-rated, I guess.
eggs. Ooh.
I mean, we did get a little drunk. Now we play.
Overall, I will say, if y'all came here looking to see if y'all should go to Wild next year, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is a resounding yes. For no other reason, we will be there and we will always be the lives of the party because we absolutely were.
I don't know if the girls were just like confused because we've been in the house for 2 years, but like
I didn't
Yeah.
come to go wild to sit down and play in JAMA.
Oh no, girl.
I didn't come for that.
Mm-mm.
We had to do what we needed to do.
Period. Come to have fun.
Yep.
If you're reasons to go wild.
Mhm.
One,
Mhm.
fun.
Yep.
That's
Period.
it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
No other reason. Come to
No other
have a
reason.
great ass time.
Yep, exactly, exactly. But yeah, guys, thank y'all so much for listening to Planners and Wine, and we will talk to y'all next week.
Bye, guys.